Hey everyone, welcome back to GregTech New Horizons. We're picking up right where we left off last time, which was building the auto crafting machine for our basic bending machines, or rather automating a bunch of them. And I cut off the episode last time because I recorded a little bit too much, but we're going to cut right back to that footage, just so you're informed now that the other stuff is pretty much pre-recorded. The wiring is pretty much completed now, but we're missing some conveyor modules on this chest, and the reason why we're missing them is because I currently don't really have the resources. For example, the sulfurs, I think what I'm mainly lacking in this machine to insulate the cables in order to make more electric motors, as I'm currently completely out of them. I think I have 5 left, which means I'm technically not completely out right here, but it's not enough to make enough conveyor modules. So we have to find some sulfur, and sulfur is really difficult to find. So I looked at this item right here, the Prospector Scanner. And let me quickly read a passage. Now that you have some tech, you've discovered a way of prospecting for ores. I'm completely misreading it, but you get the gist. This tool only has a chance at finding ores in a chunk. If you are clever, you can use it to locate ores. Important words are only has a chance at finding ores and having to be clever. So we have a 21% chance, which doesn't seem like a lot and really isn't a lot if we look at the math. So, quick summary, the scanner really sucks, but we're going to make it anyways. And it's actually not too difficult. We just need this hydroxide cell, which is the main thing that's holding us up, and that's just a chemical reactor of hydrogen and oxygen, both of which we produce. So I just gotta find a chemical reactor now. Actually just had a chemical reactor lying around and was actually also able to make what I needed, at least the hydrogen dioxide, something like that. What was it called before I say hydroxide, not hydrogen dioxide? That might actually be the same. I'm no chemist. Now let's put that down here though, because we actually need to process our hydric sulfur right here into diluted sulfuric acid. That's what we want. So let's put a chemical reactor as the first thing that we need. Does it auto output? I don't think it will just output into the chemical reactor. Yes, I thought so. So let's actually turn this down, move it one block lower. We have to run it through a chemical reactor with water, then can it up, and then distill it. Or something along those lines. I got it a little bit wrong, so we're going to fluid can some of the hydrogen sulfide, which should already be happening. Why is nothing happening? There we go. It's happening. Good. That is going to be output into the basic chemical reactor, where it is going to be diluted with some water that we're going to snag from there. Then we distill it with a certain circuit and get our sulfuric acid down in this tank, which we can then just take a can, fill up, and then use in the various machine we want to use it in. Hooked up the water and we can already see the diluted sulfuric acid. Let's have a fluid auto output. That is working. And then distilling this should give us sulfuric acid. Good, good, good. Then we just have to take the empty cells from here and funnel them back up there. But I currently don't have any pipes. Going to pretty this up a little bit as well, since it's just in this little back room right here. I'm probably going to take out the ladder so that I can have some covers on this space right here. Didn't really pretty this up at all, but we have what we need, and let's wait a little bit more. Okay, 4 of them. We actually just needed 1 since we only have 1 sensor currently, and I kind of don't want to make more, but we'll only get a limited durability, and I think it's just 10 uses, so let me put this thing together. Made the thing, so let's try it out. Clicking here. I might have to enable the chat. So there was nothing in the chat when I tried it in Nether. There was no message, no durability loss, but I just clicked like 5 times right here, and something happened. I thought that it maybe had to do with this seismic prospector, and that we actually need this to analyze it, and then this is just a way of achieving or getting the data from it. I'm still not too sure how it works, and after a Google search I couldn't really find out, so let me fool around with this a little bit more. It's in the chat right here. You can see start prospecting and found a medium sample of magnetite, trace of gold, and a small sample of vanadium magnetite. That is really good to know. You had no luck this time, so that is probably how it works, and it then appears in the chat, but we only have 10 durability, so that's not going to last very long. Oh man, I just figured it out. We just can't use it on soul sand or netherrack, but we can use it on dirt, and it's pretty much broken now, but I found a lot of stuff. I found a small sample of ruby, traces of salarite. It's probably, when there's large samples, it's probably nearby, or at least in the chunks. I still have to figure this all out, but I'm going to dig up and down and down and up and everywhere, and find what I'm looking for, or what is mentioned right here. Oh my goodness, look what I just found. You know, I dug down in the lava river a few blocks, and then I was like, okay, it has to be here somewhere. Dug in all directions, and now I'm digging down, and I find emeralds. Amazing. Going to harvest all of these. I need some more space in my inventory though. A lot more space. I found that the prospector actually isn't too good to use in the nether, so I just dug a straight tunnel and actually found some sulfur, which is really good to see. Now I just have to figure out on which height to start mining, and then we should have more than enough rubber. The sulfur is currently processing. What we're going to do now though is finally progress in the quest book a little bit, as we mostly already had the materials, just have to put them in and then get some of these motors. I'm not too sure if the motors themselves were a quest. Nothing's updating, so probably not, but we have these quests that are definitely going to require the motors, and then a few others surrounding this area that I want to do, because mainly I want to get the electrolyzer and attend to this quest right here. Hope you enjoyed that short montage. I have something to talk about though. This electric blast furnace, this in particular right here, keeps on shutting off, and I have to click it with a soft mallet. It never happens to this side, even though they're both where the chunk borders within the same chunk. This one just sometimes doesn't work, and I have no idea why. If you have any suggestions, that would be appreciated. Currently, what am I even doing? I'm getting a fluids trash can for which I need the tank, so I'm currently making a little bit more glass, and once I have that trash can, we can start processing some clay dust. Quick update. Now it's happening to this blast furnace. That, by the way, wasn't off. I know that it wasn't off. I checked the chat before, but it's now only happening to this blast furnace that occasionally turns off, and not to this one anymore. So, still waiting on your suggestions on that one, but I implemented the trash can right here. We have an auto input for the advanced electrolyzer, and now we just need the clay dust. And I have some locations marked on my map that I'm going to go to show you where we're going to get that from. There are two biomes that I found that could be used for this task. First one is, oh my goodness, that's going to go on for a while since I recently claimed some quests. First one is the Lush Desert, and the second one, please stop. Second one is the Canyon biome over here. I found at least 2 Lush Deserts, one over here, one over there, and I think I even found one more. So that's a lot of hardened clay. The hardened clay, I believe, gives me 2 or 4 clay dust. I'm not too sure, but it should give me a lot more than the canyon stuff. No, 1 entire clay dust, and I think the canyon stuff gives me half a clay dust. So this stuff is actually a lot better, and we have a lot of it. What I need to do now is basically just harvest a bunch of this. Just to give you some perspective, I just mined this little bit over here. I don't know how much that is on the map. This area, which might be 1/10, maybe 10% of this biome, and we have an entire inventory right here, and my backpack is also partially filled, so that should be a lot of clay dust. The hardened clay was just processing. Let's get that little bit of sulfur out of there. Since the clay can be processed really quickly, I just put it ahead of all of the sulfur. We really need another macerator, or maybe another 4 like we have over here. I finished that, and it should be operational. I just didn't really use it up until now. I wished I would have had made it out of wire mills or macerators. Macerators would probably have been a better choice, seeing as this will take a very long time, and the ore processing also needs a very long time, and I really currently need a lot of copper. But let's stuff this in here, and we should then get the fluid. No, we want the item auto output to the bottom right here, and that should be good enough. The water should be pumped out and just trashed into the can, and any other clay dust we can just put in this chest right here. With that little bit more clay in here, we should update a quest that is over here, and now we need to electrolyze everything to get some silicon dust, which I, by the way, have a lot of already, 92. So let's just stuff all of that in there and wait for it to electrolyze, which, by the way, is also rather quick. And there we already go, so that should be good enough. Quest complete, and we're going to choose aluminium dust. I'm not too sure if that's a good choice. The loot bags haven't been too great. What do we have? Silicon, silicon dust, silicon ingots. Due to the chip production, silicon becomes a more important material. You can centrifuge it out of Fuller's Earth. That stuff, or redstone dust. The electric blast furnace is needed to make ingots. One ingot is required temperature of blah 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 for blah 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 blah. Good to know. Not too sure what we need those for. It just said chipsets, I believe. But let's claim some other quests and open up some. That's it. So open up one reward bag. And that was actually really, really good. Even though I don't have any arrows. Since I'm always doing some minor changes in the background, I thought I would just quickly fill you in just this one time. I added in a little bit of glass here and just prettied this area up. Put a little bit of stone bricks in. Same here, covered it all up. We, by the way, have filled up on sulfuric acid, and now this tank is starting to fill up again. I still have to get rid of these ladders and put them in a new spot so I can still get up from down here very easily. Probably just on the other side somewhere, but I'll figure that out. Next thing I wanted to do was put some glass in there, so that looks a little bit nicer, not as open anymore, because enclosedness is the key to making something look good. So that's what I'm trying to do everywhere, basically. I'm also filling this back up, as you can see right here, and probably not in here. We need some more copper in that spot. But we are basically ready to craft another batch of electronic circuits. However, we still have over 50 of them, so we don't need to do that currently. But just when we have to do it, we are prepared. So let's do a little bit of this. Just very minor changes. They do a lot. And the torch pack up there, and it looks a little bit nicer. But it looks even nicer once the tank is filled up, or at least pretty much filled up. I want to show you something, by the way. Right here, how much steel do we have? Over 1,000. That is a lot of steel. I don't even know how I got that much, but it's good to have. You can see I prettied it up a little bit more, a few more arcs and all of that stuff. One thing I want to focus on now, though, that we have our tank filled up, would be the power. However, I found a good way to get methanol, which is what we need. We also need sodium hydroxide, which we can get from clay. The last thing that we need, though, is seed oil. And with the seed oil, the sodium hydroxide, we can make in the chemical reactor biodiesel. And that's exactly what we want. Only other thing we needed, as I said, was methanol, and we can get methanol pretty much from charcoal, oxygen, and hydrogen. And that's the exact way we're going to go with that, but for now I want to focus on two different things. And that would be seed oil, for which we need bees, bee breeding and how to bee is what we're going to do, as well as, where is it, novice thaumaturgy. Thaumaturge. We need all of these infused stones since I believe Thaumcraft can offer us a lot of good tools for the early game. Was just about to craft some untreated frames for the bee houses when I noticed that if you hover over it and hold shift, there's actually a lot of information about it. And I don't really know what genetic decay is. I think that might kill the bee, but I want to see what some of the other frames show. And I also noticed that there are new frames that I haven't heard of right down here with GregTech. So going to be interesting with the bee breeding. Let's go back to the basic bee houses, which we probably won't need a lot of, since the bee houses only allow bees to basically produce items and not to breed, so we can't really breed any bees in the bee houses. I also don't have any combs on me. Well, I actually don't have any combs at all, but I have a scoop and I know the location of 2 beehives at least, so let's quickly go down here. I know that there's one beehive right here. Let's see, it didn't get a comb though, so the second one doesn't really matter if we get a comb because we don't have enough anyways. But let's go back here. I dug this area out so we can expand, since the 3x3 chunk area that I sought out actually also includes this enormous area right down here. So we're probably going to expand in here soon. Didn't get any combs though. Here we go, I found some combs. I was thinking that I definitely got some bees since that had lost some durability, and these are kind of like my random chests that turned into my ore chests, since I have a lot of ores that currently need to be processed. Anyways though, let's put that in. 1 bee house should be enough. Detect, and I get some combs, and some coins, then frames, go find tropical bees, that's something we should really do. Humid and warm habitat locator, and analyze all of them. A field kit. I'm pretty sure that I know of a swampy biome, but I don't know if there are the jungle bees in there. Oh, I was right. Right here in the, what is it, tropical rainforest or whatever I just saw? Yes, we can get tropical bees, and that should be hopefully a queen and a drone, so we can already get more than enough of their combs, these silky combs. And I think, what do they make? I'm curious now. It was the propolis, the silky propolis, and that will get a silk wisp for the woven silk right here. And the quest is completed. Let's see what opened up. Claim that. And yeah, you can see the woven silk and this. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of combs. I kind of wasn't expecting that many combs. But I guess I'll just need a few more tropical bees and a few more bee houses. Maybe I found a little bit of an easier way to get tropical hives. How much is the time on that? 20 minutes. Okay, I can get behind that. So every 20 minutes I will give in and take out some of my coins. Nice, that was a good haul. Let's put that in there, that in here, that in here, and that in there. Good. Okay, we already got 10. Great. How do I automate these though? I just looked up the wooden pipe, which we would need, but that is only available in the HVH, so that's not gonna happen. I need a different way now. So let's try to figure out something with RecTech and item filters maybe? Bad news. These tropical queens are not very tolerant. It's too dry and too cold for them. Very good news though. Even though they aren't tolerant at all, we have a mushroom island over there that is warm and damp, which should be exactly what a jungle biome is. Am I right? It's not saying it doesn't like it, and it's flubbling around. And poisoning me. Great, but it still needs some sort of flower, and I believe it might need vines. So I have to get some vines, and then we're just going to have the bees over there in the mushroom biome. Let's also check out this village while I'm getting vines. Vines should be just over there in the jungle biome, but over here... Oh no, I thought there would be apiaries in this house. Maybe it was also raided since the chest is entirely empty, so there might have been some apiaries in this house right here. If I find some more villages, I'm definitely going to take those, so if they suddenly appear, that is where they are coming from. So I'm getting some vines, but I also found a village, and sadly it didn't have what I wanted it to have, which would be apiaries, since someone stole them, not because, or didn't really steal them, they took them, just as I wanted to do, but there are none in there. If I find some apiaries though, I'm definitely going to take them, as I'm not too sure how expensive they are going to be, just that you are informed that if I suddenly have apiaries, you know where they came from. So we have a problem. I believe that bee houses actually can't be automated, since I can't even connect my item pipes onto them, no matter how hard I try. As you can see right here, and the bees are, by the way, also killing me, which isn't too fun. So I think we have to progress a little bit in forestry, or at least with the bee breeding. Somehow we gotta get some apiaries going, but that's going to happen next episode, as I'm dying right here. It's getting to be nighttime, and we are also out of time. So I hope you enjoyed the episode, and that you're going to tune in next time, where we are hopefully going to automate all of the bee stuff. Maybe not all of it.